Dating at any age. That's the subject we're going to talk about tonight. Find out a few things. Maybe you may find out something from someone else that could be educational or beneficial to you. So I'm going to wait a few minutes, let y'all come on in, get your notifications, and we're going to chat about it. What's the appropriate age to start dating? How old can you be or should you be when you stop dating, or should you stop? Are you happy single or married? What type of guy are you looking to date? Where are you gonna find it? Are you dating to marry or are you just dating to date? That's what we're gonna talk about tonight. So while I'm waiting on y'all to get in here, um, oh, I knew what I had to do. Make sure that this phone was down. Hold on. Hey y'all. What's up, Wanda? How you doing, Jackie? Jackie, I got your message too. I'm gonna look on Amazon because I wasn't successful with the candles today. Although I did not go to Michael's or to Hobby Lobby. But I'm very blurry. Is that better, Wanda? Thank y'all for telling me because y'all know me and this Wi-Fi. Hey, Wanda. Hi, Miss Joy. I'm waiting on y'all to tell me about this Wi-Fi. I'm sitting right in front of it. Hold on. Let me make sure it's on. Yep, it is on. Let me see if I turn it off. Is it going to be any better? Okay, I got it off. Oh, I'm better, sugar? I just turned it off. So tell me if it's better now. I just looked at them and they have all the colors. Okay, Miss Jackie, thank you. So is the Wi-Fi good now or it's not so good? Y'all have made me an appointment for my neck, sleeping on this back. Not better? Turn it back on. Okay, turn it back on. Hold on. Okay. All right, now I'm back on. Okay, so we gonna hold it right here then. Cause me and this Wi-Fi, I don't know. This area is just bad news. Mm. Okay, thank you, Vonda. How my nieces doing tonight? Y'all all doing all right? Another long day, but I got my car back. And what's gonna have to happen with it? I'm gonna have to file another insurance claim because they said that the part that was bad that needed to be replaced that cost 2,500 was from the impact of the accident. So I got to go back up there tomorrow and get them to write that on paper, the mechanic who worked on the car, so I can turn it back into my insurance and try to get that fixed. It has to do with the cruise control, and it looks like a little man riding on a bicycle when the warning light comes on, and that's gonna stay on, keep coming on and off. Okay, so when I talked to Uncle Willie, he said there was no way that he would have known that anything was wrong because there was no light to indicate nothing was wrong. The light did not come on, remember, until last month. So I just needed Infinity to sit there and write down that this is what they found. He told me, but I need it on paper. All right, now let's get to what we talking about. And then I got to get up from here and get this hair taken down and get it shampooed so I can go and get it braided tomorrow at noon. Hey, Sting, how you doing this evening, Sting? Okay, so let's get into the dating thing. Everybody hit the like button and let's talk about it. So the first question I had in mind is consider the times that we live in. Okay, so most of us are 30 and older. So I want you to stop and think about the times we're living in now. Do you think it's better for a teen to start dating earlier or later living in these times? You can just put earlier or later if you want to elaborate on it, you can. At what age do you think that a person, male or female, hey, Miss Deborah Silver, should stop dating? Is there an age to stop dating, or you date until you just don't want to date no more, or until you out of here? So Sting is saying, and Jackie is saying that it is better for a child to start dating later. And I truly agree with that, because kids are maturing much faster due to television and social media apps. They see more, they know more, but their brains are not matured enough to handle that type of emotional situation, is my opinion. Okay, later I limit. Okay, Wanda's agreeing with that also. Hey, my Carla, we talking about dating tonight, Carla. So I've already asked the question: should a kid living in this day and time date earlier or later? And most of us who are in the chat at this point are saying later for a child to start dating, because emotionally they may know a lot, because there's so much information that they can grab so quickly by Googling stuff. But then when you start dealing with emotions, even as grown people, we have a hard time. And I can't imagine a child trying to deal with an emotional breakup at 10, 11, 12 years old. And they be seriously dating, because they are all made up. Little girls are looking like grown women by the time they hit junior high school these days. Hey, Pierre. So the next question was, is there any limit on dating by age, by a number? Should you date until you don't want to date no more, until you out of here? Or do you think that grandmothers and great grandmas don't have feelings and they shouldn't date? That's interesting. Me being older, I'm interested in hearing about that. Okay. So Sting, wait a minute, somebody made a comment about that one. No, not yet. Okay, so I'm waiting on that comment to come through. Should you, because you're old, should you not date? Okay. So Miss Wanda think, no, that's Wisdom. Hey, Wisdom, how you doing? No age limit to dating. People marry at age 80 and over. That is true. And Wisdom, would you agree that most people who are older are basically looking for companionship? It's not a sexual thing anymore. And then I'm going to tell you from a 70-year-old's perspective on dating. Okay? In my opinion, says Thing, if you're still physically able today, why not? Okay? There's no right or no wrong to this. It's how you feel. Wisdom is saying absolutely. Exactly. Companionship, says Thing. It's up to the individual, says Miss Wanda. From Miss V's perspective, after 3.5 years of going through the emotions of losing a husband very suddenly, and not being able to be there at the end of life with him, never seeing him again once he went into the hospital, and not being able to attend the funeral or a graveside ceremony. It was very devastating. It was very hard, and it took me a long time. 3.5 years. Most people have gotten back out there and they're back into the dating world. I'm just starting to feel comfortable enough and get in my mind that you have to continue on with life, and this is what he would want you to do. Because we had discussed that. We had talked about that. If something happened to him, he didn't expect for me to just sit there and moan the rest of my life, because I still got life. So what I see is a very good friendship, a very good relationship. Um, Still, no couch potato, even at this age. I don't want somebody just sit up in the house all day. To me, that's not companionship. We need to be going out to breakfast to eat. We need to go to the mall and just walk the mall and window shop and go in and buy whatever you think you want that day. We need to take road trips. We need to take plane trips. We need to visit with family, grandchildren, great grandchildren if you have them, and stay connected with them. But you also have a companion with you, somebody that can look out for you or be there for you if you get sick in the middle of the morning. That is more so what I'm looking for at this point. I'm not interested in looks anymore like I was in my younger years because I was fruitful and I could multiply. I'm not having no babies now. So I don't want nobody to look like a scarecrow now, but I'm not interested in him being built like before. He's got a bad body. Oh, you can tell he go to the gym. Or he's a good looking man. Oh, I like his hair. All that's out the window now. Okay, because as you age, gravity is gonna pull things down. It's gonna take away. You're not the beauty queen that you may have used to have been back in the day, and he ain't gonna be either. Maybe hair might be disappearing on his head, hereditary baldness, or maybe his physique is not the same as it used to be. He might be a little hunched over now, but you got to be willing to accept these things, or you got to take a chance on getting somebody a little younger than you to be able, if you're very active like me and you move around like I do and don't be still, and you still doing basically the same things you did when you were 40, 50, and 60, then I can't have no 70 plus year old man just sitting there and I gotta wait on him. He's sick all the time. I'm not a nurse. So that would be for me. It would be better for me to stay by myself. So in my instance, because of my high energy level, he has to be a few years younger. I mean, I can't go and get somebody that's 40 or 50 because I'm not going to be able to keep up with them. Okay? They're too energetic for me. But 55 on back, I keep up with them. Because what I see is men start to decline once they start getting ready for retirement, and when they come home, it's like they've worked all these years and they're so ready to come home, they don't want to do nothing but just sit around and lay around, and before you know it, they have become old. If they don't stay active doing something like in the gym, playing golf, going fishing, doing some kind of hobbies that they've already done in the past, and it's just not gonna be a good thing. Not for me. Wait a minute, let me go back up and get Carlos. Because Carlos said something. Okay, wait a minute. I gotta go way back up because I missed some. Okay. I think I'm right here at Pierre. Okay, absolutely. Companionship, said Sting. That's what would be for me. Um, just like sex declines for a man, I think a woman, it declines too, because you got to think you've been sexually active most of your life. If you married, or even if you weren't married and you had children and all of that, it comes a time where that's not so important. And then that male is not going to be able to be as active as he was in the past anyway. So that's not the big deal anymore. To me, it's companionship. And one just saying it's up to the individual. Wisdom say you had the grief. I did, and it was hard. If you have never been in that position before, you wouldn't understand it. I'm in Vegas. He's in DC when he has the accident, and he's in the hospital in DC. And I can't get out of Vegas because we're going through the pandemic. Okay. But he has caught COVID while in the hospital there. The wreck did not have anything to do with the death. It was the accident and having to go into the hospital and contracting in the hospital. And it's like Auntie Mimi said. She said the other night that they put a lot of black people on respirators. He was on a respirator from the time he hit that door and went into the room until 4 days later when he expired. And I meant to pull that death certificate again because I know the big C is on there, respiratory problems. But that third thing, I cannot remember what's on it. But it all had to do with breathing issues and the C. Okay. And I was supposed to fly back in that Friday. His mother passed on Wednesday. He didn't even know it. And then that Thursday he passed, and they had a double funeral. And they were only letting so many people in at that time, and they had to bury him quick because he had to see. So just getting used to the idea of you going back home, but what are you going home to? Ain't nothing there. Can you even go back into the house? I couldn't do it. Auntie was talking about Ethan Allen furniture the other night. That is a whole house that I left of that kind of furniture. It's big furniture. It's heavy furniture. It's bulky furniture. I knew I wasn't going to live in a home that could occupy that type of furniture. It's too big for the rooms. And I knew I was going to probably get a smaller place. It's just me. And try to get myself back on track. And the idea of being alone when the two of you were bouncing here and bouncing there and vacationing here and vacationing there. And, when he wasn't working, he was this type that was very impulsive, also very spontaneous. Walk in the door on a Friday evening, he done already made up in his mind where we going and what we gonna do. I've learned with him that I had to stay ready. I had to keep a suitcase packed with underwear, your toiletries, all that stuff, because you just never knew whether you were finna catch a plane or whether you were getting ready to road trip. And you missed that. 10 years? That's what you did for 10 whole years. Yeah, it was tough. And then to have people coming out here when you going through all of this, being evil and nasty to you, and they don't care and they don't know what you have been through. Your family does, your friends do, but the nerves, I don't even want to think about it because I don't want to get angry. I'm going to keep it moving. Pierre says it's your prerogative, and I agree. I think it's an individual preference of a man and a woman to choose to do what they want to do. And it ain't nobody's business but yours. Carla says, I believe no age limit. Sometimes they just want someone to go out to dinner and just chill. That's exactly right. You get lonesome at times when you just sit in the house. And I think that's why I move around and I go so much because I don't want to get bored. I cannot stand to be bored. And I'm not an old person that want to just sit up in the house. I don't. I've been moving ever since I saw y'all at Miss Mark. I've been all the way to Missouri City. That's 45 minutes from my house over there, according to Google. But that doesn't include the traffic. It actually took us an hour and 15 minutes to get there, a 45-minute drive because we left right at the 5 o'clock traffic. But I had to be back in Clear late to pick up my car at 5 o'clock and turn the loaner car in. So I was booking it coming back. And then when I finally got back in, that's when I sit down, I was like, man, I'm so tired. I'll get up and I'll take a shower and that burst of energy will come right back. But that's just me. That's just who I am. Everybody's not like that. Um, And I agree with you, Carla. Well, I'm a homebody, so being at home doesn't bother me. I can stay in this house sometime for 2 or 3 days, but when I'm ready to get out of here, I'm ready to get out of here. If I'm in here crafting or changing stuff around or cooking, and I'm not a TV watcher, so I can't sit here and say I have favorite TV shows. Now, football starts Thursday night, so I'll be able to sit and watch TV, watch football because I love football. But just to sit up and watch TV, I did that when I was a child and a younger person. I ain't trying to do that no more. They in the bushes tonight. Hit that like button, okay? All right. They can do what they choose to. Saying exactly, it's all about compatibility. Yes, it is. And that's not easy. Because you change as you get older. I'm here to tell you, things that used to bother me do not bother me anymore. It's like, get away from me, get out from around me. I don't care nothing about that. Say what you want to say, do what you want to say. Don't include me, leave me alone. I'm there. Where in the past, I would be more like, well, let's try to work it out. Let's try to talk about it. Trying to leave it. I look, as long as I know I didn't do it, it don't bother me. It don't affect me at all. Not in the least bit. And men are pretty much like that. They've worked all their life. They've helped to raise the children, or they provided for you to do what you had to do. And they want to be kind of left alone to do what they want to do too. I mean, they might be in the fishing, they might be in the motorcycle and motorcycle club, Corvette clubs. Men can get into a lot of expensive, I'm going to call them habits. My husband was golfing. That's very expensive. Fishing, very expensive. Because he took day trips out on this big, big boat. And they would go out way offshore fishing and spend the whole day and come back late at night and catch trophy fish and stuff like that. I mean, it's $150 just to get on the boat to go fishing, and you still got to bring all your stuff. Golfing, golf clubs, golfing fees, green fees, whatever they call them. That's expensive. Anything a man does is expensive. The second husband, motorcycle, Corvette, trucking. He hunted in the woods. He went all the way from Texas City to Mexico to hunt. Do you know how expensive that is? You got to have a truck. You got to have a trailer. You got to have all your hunting equipment. You got to have clothes that's warm because it's cold out there in them woods. I done been there and done that. Wisdom is agreeing with you, Carla. Movies, dinner, walks, play a little bit too. Yes, of course. I mean, just because you old don't mean you don't have feelings. Now, come on. You're lying to yourself if you don't believe that. Feelings don't leave, just like emotions don't leave. Hey, my nephew Edward, and niece Yo Yo. Let's see. Looking for a comment. Carla, yes, Wisdom. I knew seniors that went on cruises together over 70. I met a lot of older people on there. But it seems like when they together, it's like they're so loving to each other when they hold in hands, the little old people, and he's opening the door for her, or he pulls a chair out for her, and I'm looking at them and I'm like, wow, that is beautiful. And I thought that was what I was going to have, because he did those things. He opened the door for me and waited till I got in, or he pulled the car up. One night he threw his coat down so I wouldn't mess up my shoes. And I'm like, have you lost your mind? So that took a while because I knew I wasn't going to find nobody that was going to do stupid stuff like that. But he would do it. Okay? And I probably won't. But then I had to start looking at, that was him. That was who he was. But the other two that you were married to were nothing like that. So you just have to look at people for how they treat you now. If they're loving, if they're kind, more so than anything else. Not how tall they are. That was a big thing in my head. I never wanted a short man. Probably missed a great husband looking up at men instead of looking eye to eye at them. Hmm. Hey Reba, how you doing? My friend was 76. He had minor health issues, but baby, he always traveled and stayed busy. Child, I had to keep up with him. Yes, and it's tough too, Wanda. It's not easy. When they have a lot of energy like that, it is not easy. But sometimes I look at it and I say, he lived. I don't know if I will never know if he knew he was going to die so soon because he was 60. What was he? 67 when he passed. And but he had lived a life of probably 80, late 80 or 90-year-old person on the go constantly. So I can't say that he didn't enjoy his life and he didn't really miss out on nothing. I mean, he kept them season tickets to that Ravens game. He wasn't going to miss a game. He was going to be in town for it. And we were going to those games. It did not matter if it was 12 below outside. On the East Coast, they don't have closed in stadiums like in the South. Everything is under a retractable roof in the South. Up there, you sitting out in the elements. I learned how to dress. And I really miss that more than anything. Naya, how you doing, sugar? JP girl, Ethan Allen furniture is very expensive. Yes, it is. And you need a big home because the furniture is big furniture. Our bedroom suite, it is no way it's gonna fit in none of these rooms in here. It was too big and too bulky. All the furniture was, and I was like, why am I gonna pay that kind of money to move furniture from Baltimore to Houston, and then I ain't gonna have nowhere to put it, or I'm gonna have to get rid of so many because it comes with a lot of pieces too. You can buy a whole lot of furniture when you go to Ethan Allen. I mean, you might have an armoire, you might have a Chester, you might have a desk that match, a dresser, a triple mirror, a king size bed. Oh my God, you could just go on 2 nightstands. Just adding pieces to it, a desk, all kind of stuff. So no, that is not for apartments, townhomes, patio homes. That is for a house with some room where you're not squeezing through it. And it lasts a lifetime. I'm sorry you had to go through that, but I'm glad to see you're healing. I am. I am doing good. Even my friends tell me that they don't understand how I made it through and never went to therapy, but I attended church. If y'all notice, I was there every Sunday. I had to. I mean, I had to get some kind of spiritual connection in order to walk through this rest of this journey because I never saw it coming at all. Mm-mm. And the shock of it all, I'm out in Vegas and I'm with my sister-in-law and my nephew, and I went in my room and I just happened to turn on Facebook. And there it is. They've put it on Facebook before they've even notified me, his company that he was working for. Our condolences to you. And I'm like, what? No. And had his picture. And I was like, oh my God. I ran out the room and I'm showing it to her. And she's just sitting there going, what? In disbelief. None of us could believe it. Then I connected with his family and they are like, we were going to call you in a few. We were trying to get ourselves together because they had lost their mother and their brother. So they trying to get it together to break the news to me because me and my mother-in-law were very close. That little lady was only 4'8", but I loved her dearly because she was real and she would just tell you straight up just like it was. And think that she passed on a Wednesday, he passed on a Thursday, and then they had a double funeral. That was tough. And then I couldn't attend any of it because I couldn't get a flight out and they can't hold him to the next week. It was tough, but like I said, I made it. I made it through. With the help of a lot of prayers, my church family rallied around me. My friends rallied around me. Coming out here on YouTube helped me a whole lot because I had people to talk to. And I don't know if y'all could feel or could see what I was going through because I faked it very, very good. I could get off here and then I'd be sitting there and I'd just be just shaking and thinking. But I'm past all that now and I thank God I made it through. Time change, people change. True, about every 10 years, expect a change from a person. You're not the same at 40 that you were at 30, and you won't be the same at 50. You should mature and grow gracefully older, but have more of a peace of mind, more in tune with you, not with somebody else. You're not matured. If I'm more connected to Sting and Sting's business and what she got going on, then I'm connected with me and what I'm dealing with, because we're not dealing with the same thing. I have not matured at all. Because I shouldn't be that invested in her life like that. Get you somebody that likes doing the same things you like. That way you have no problems. Exactly. That's true. Y'all have to have something in common. Now, I can honestly say when I got with my second husband, he was into hunting. I wasn't. But my daughter was. So that was cool. He would take her out in the woods with him, taught her how to shoot a gun, clean the gun, everything. I ain't want no parts of it. Ain't no hotels out there in the woods. You land in a tent. I ain't finna do that. No, y'all gone on. And I'm not finna. Most of that meat they brought back, I'm not gonna eat that. So that's a waste of my time. I'll be fine. And it was always during the Thanksgiving holiday. So I went home to my family and celebrated the holiday. It's a blessing that he was able to live a good life before he passed. Yes, he did. I can honestly say that. And he was happy. He had finally found, well, I guess we both had found the love of our lives because he had been married before to a registered nurse. And unfortunately, she got hooked on prescription drugs and took it all the way to the street. So he had been by himself and raised his two children alone as a single man, a daughter and a son. And he had lost his oldest son to gun violence there in Baltimore. So he had gone through a lot too. Losing his oldest son and then raising his last two children. And so he had finally found happiness. And I think it was the same thing for me. My daughter's now grown. She's out of college. She's gone on to Nashville to work on her master's, and she finds the love of her life, and she's getting married. And so it was just a perfect little scenario. It was a perfect little journey, but I had to look at it. 10 years was all we had to be together. We had known each other almost 12, but we were married 10, and those were some happy times. So I cherish the memories. With aging comes maturity and growth, and you value and protect your peace and mental health. Yes, ma'am, Misty. By all means necessary. I will tell you in a minute, get away from me. I'm at peace. I don't want no chitter chatter. I don't want no back and forth. I'm not into that. Go find you somebody who want to do that. He was a gentleman for sure. Oh, my king, I'm so ready. All right, then. That's what I'm talking about, Reba. Yes, indeed. Y'all can make it whatever you want it to be. And every day is not going to be a good day for you. It ain't going to be a good day for him. But as long as y'all communicate, communication is the key. Trust me on that. Whatever the problem is, it should be his problem as well as yours, and vice versa. And y'all work it through together. You won't always see eye to eye on everything, but it's no sense in falling out and getting mad about it. Sit down and talk about it. Come up with a logical decision that'll benefit both of you. It'll work, I promise. Um, just know that life is short too. Enjoy every day, every moment of the day, because you don't know how long you'll be together. I never dreamed I wouldn't be growing old with him. Hey Jennifer, how are you? Um, Yo, I looked at your video. It like fun. It was fun. I haven't seen much YouTube today because I've been in the street all day long. I had to go over there, like I said. Ed sister was here because her daughter lives in Missouri City. She works here in Houston, although she grew up in Florida. Um, so Minnie had cooked the gumbo on Sunday and invited me over. But Sunday, you remember, I didn't even go to church because we were still trying to get the bedroom straight and get the bed up and stuff. Thank God that's done. But I couldn't make it yesterday because I was in the street all day yesterday. So today she's leaving tomorrow. So I had to go get it today or else write it off as a loss. But it was truly good. I had to call her back after the first tablespoon. I was like, "Ooh, this is really good. It was worth the drive." I'm in the bushes listening because I'm sewing. Oh, you can sew, Wisdom. Wisdom, I got a brand new single sewing machine, been in the box 15 years, ain't never come out the box. And I look at it all the time and say, that's a doggone shame. I bought it when I moved up there because the winters are so cold. And I thought I would take it out and sit down and sew. Ain't open it. Still in the box, just like I brought it from the store. Let's go on down. You should go listen to In the Safe Zone replay from this morning. Okay, because I normally watch her, Wisdom. She's going through the same thing. She lost her husband also. And we share that in common. We've never sat down and really talked about it, but I know she's going through what I've already been through because hers is not even quite a year, I don't believe. Mine is 3.5 going on 4. So I'm way past where she is. And, she'll get through it. And she's younger too. He was a younger man passing on. And that's kind of bad also. Yeah. Good evening, Pastor Thomas, Ms.V in chat. Please pray for me as I have to have surgery and will be down for 6 weeks. Okay, Pastor Thomas, I'm sorry to hear that. I'm having some abdominal pains ever since the storm. I made me an appointment today because they don't stop. It's just like a aching, a dull headache in the stomach, if that makes any sense. So I can't get in to see the doctor till the 8th, and nothing does any good. I've chewed Tums. This morning I got up and did Pepto-Bismol, and it just is a stomach ache. So I'm going to get it checked out, but we'll be praying for you. I'm sorry to hear that, but keep in touch and do let us know how you coming through, Pastor Thomas. I see all my sugars up in here. Yeah, JP, they all in the building. Hey, Lucinda. Lucinda, you need to be listening to this. We talking about dating. So true, Miss B, says Jennifer. Hey, April Love, how you doing? Thank you for coming by. You love honey? I couldn't get with that, Lucinda. It's just like, I don't want to lay on no ground in no little bag zipped up and a tent over me and hear the animals in the woods and ain't no bathroom. I couldn't do that. And we were together 20 years. And he did that from the time I met him. Every Thanksgiving, Mexico, it was him and probably about 5 other guys. And you got to keep a truck, a good truck running, because look how far you going. You going over 800 miles just to go out into the woods. Why they chose Mexico, I don't know. But they did. And they kept the same lease every year. I'm not laying in no tent neither. No, I couldn't do that. I was like, well, where's the nearest hotel? You ain't going to be staying in no hotel. We got to leave you back in the city and we way out here in the woods. Well, just let me stay in my house then. Yep. Everyone, hi, honey. I went asleep on a commercial around 8, woke up from the phone. That was a good nap. Good for you. Sometimes it's good to just lay down and sleep. There are no problems when you sleep. Not a problem in the world. That's probably close to death as you gonna get. No worries. I love to sleep, especially when things are bothering me. I close my eyes in a minute and go on lay it down. We'll sleep through a hurricane. Miss April is saying, right, Miss V. Miss April is a content creator. Make sure y'all check her out. JP is in here. Yo-Yo is in here. Lucinda is in here. And Pierre Bike Life. And I hope I didn't miss anybody who came in as a content creator. I have Mom's Singer. Oh, sewing machine. I need to get rid of it. You don't sew, Lucinda? I've been sewing since I was probably seventh grade. My mom taught me how to sew, and my sister-in-law lived next door. And every summer, that's what I did, is make my clothes to go back to school. And they would, take that zipper out. That zipper's not in there correct. That kind of stuff. And they made you do it right. Yes, get it checked out, Ms. V. I am, JP, because nothing is happening at all. And I'm going to tell you, it happened during the storm. You remember when Miss Margaret came over here and she made that guacamole? That is the day it started hurting. It ain't stopped hurting since then. I done took laxatives to try to clean out. It still hurting. So next Thursday, I go to the doctor. I have been having the same symptoms, Ms. V, and they can't find anything, but I'm going back to my primary doctor. Okay, you do that, Wanda, because I mean, it's just a nagging ache. It's not really a pain, it's a ache. Like you have a headache and it just nags. That's the way the stomach is. It doesn't matter if I eat or if I don't eat, it's just there. With stomach issues, doctor will order a CT scan to get an image picture of your inside abdomen. Okay, he can do whatever he got to do long as this stop. It's just irritating. Hey, holistic, how you doing, sugar? Miss V, I relate to you so much. Miss April, I told you anytime you want to collab, we can collab. I get along with people very well. When people can't get along with me, it's usually not me that's the problem, it's them that's their own problem. I've never in 70 years had a problem with anybody that I just couldn't talk to. It may be that we didn't hit it off like some people do, but we left in peace. No arguments, nothing. Never had nobody to make up stuff or tell lies or nothing like that. But this is a virtual reality we got going on out here. And it's about money out here. So you can't compare it to the real world. But like I say, anytime you're ready, I'm ready because I really enjoyed the panel when I went on your panel that day and we were talking about narcissism. And I was able to talk about that because that's why me and the second husband could not make it. Too domineering. Uh, Everything had to be his way or the highway. That works for a while, and then after a while, it's like, look, I ain't at peace with you. Ain't no happy times up in here. You want to do everything when you want to do it, how you want to do it, with who you want to do it to. Time to go. You live your life, I'm gonna live mine. We gonna still be friends, okay? But we're not gonna be up in this house together no more. And I see him every now and then. He doesn't live very far from me, but he's never gonna change. Now he's too old. He would be, what is he? He would be 74 years old. He is who he is. And we do much better away from each other. Okay. Miss Jackie is saying, hit that like button, subscribe, and thank you. I know how you feel. Even though me and my husband were separated, I still took his passing last year very hard. You did sing. I remember that when he passed because I told you to send me a Cash App request. I remember that. Because with me and him, if he would pass today, we had 20 years together. You can't throw that away, no matter what. And one thing I always say about him, maybe he had a bad disposition or attitude a lot of times, but he was a hell of a provider. I didn't want for nothing. I did what I wanted to do with my paycheck, and he paid every bill in the house. But when it comes down to you being happy, you not being looking like, what are you talking about? You don't even make sense, because he's so busy already got it in his head how it's gonna go. And if you don't understand it, then you just, but then he'd turn around and tell you, you probably the smartest woman I've ever met in my life. And I'm thinking to myself, I ain't too smart. I married you. But it's all good. Like I say, I'm still close to his family. His brother lives up in East Texas, and we talk from time to time on Facebook. And whenever I go home, I run through there and I see him, because they know. They know what the deal is. If I wasn't a good person, they wouldn't deal with me. Mm-mm. I still took his passing last year hard. You did. Okay. Hey, BMO native, how you doing? Every time I see that, you take me back to Baltimore. Those 10 years. Actually, we lived in Catonsville. You know what it is, right off of Route 40. Yeah. Um, the backyard backed up to Patapsco Forest. We were in Woodbridge Valley, BMO. Yeah. Hey, Kendra's Corner. Hey, Marjorie, how you doing? Getting down here. I love it when y'all all come in and y'all are speaking to each other. Okay, and I probably missed somebody because I didn't put it on all. I wish it would toggle, and hopefully I didn't. Hopefully. Okay. Thank you, yo yo. I'm hitting that button too much, huh? Um, and then we decided over here that there is no limit or no age to. Oh my God, my aunt is from Catonsville, my Suter Road. I don't know. I don't remember where Suter Road is, but we were right off of Route 40. I remember you turned at that little oil place. It was a little, I don't remember the name of it, but it was on one side and there was a big furniture store on the other side. You went around and there were like some two-story homes with the big column posts, and then there was like three streets back there, and we were on Lincoln Woods. That was the name of it. Yep. At the corner. And a lot of Muslims lived back there because they had a mosque back there, so we didn't have very many blacks in the community. And we were on the corner. I don't even know what the street was now. They crossed it, but I know our address was Lincoln Woods, and then it made a short little curve around, and the deer would come out the forest in the back at night, and we would plant our garden or plant our plants in the yard, and they would eat it down to nothing. I had never seen nothing like that. And those deer would walk the sidewalk like grown people, and they knew how to cross the street, look for the cars and everything. I hadn't seen lightning bugs since I was a child. We would sit up on the balcony at night, and I asked my husband one night, I said, why do they light up? And he looked at me and he was like, babe, they having sex. And I was like, what? He said, that's a mating thing when they light up like that. I was like, okay. I learned a lot from him. He was a very smart man. Miss V, I truly understand about your feelings for your ex-husband, because my ex-husband was the same way, a great provider, but a terrible husband. I wouldn't say he was terrible. He was just too domineering for me. It's just like too structured too. He had been military for 14 years on a submarine underwater for 6 months at a time. That didn't help the situation, okay? You already got this narcissistic behavior running through you, and you so structured until you would come in on a Thursday and you'd have to wash on Thursday. If either one of the kids, his son or my daughter, left anything in the washer or the dryer, he'd just take it out and throw it on the floor. Instead of moving on over to the dryer and calling them and telling them to do it, I was like, man, how could you be so smart and so intelligent to be on the USS Daniel Webster and be submerged underwater and make your own drinking water, but do the most dumbest stuff I could just imagine? So, yeah, but the kids loved him. That's another reason why it took me so long to leave. I did not want, I had raised his son. I had raised my daughter from my first husband. I did not want to go and leave those kids and separate them. They grew up as sisters and brothers. So it was like, you got to stay until they're out of here. When they went off to college and they finished, it was like, I can't take no more. And on top of that, had colon cancer. I'm ready to walk out the door, and then we get the diagnosis that he has colon cancer. I was like, Lord, this I'm never gonna be free. But I did. After he recuperated and went back to doing the same old thing, he was nice during the cancer because he didn't actually think he was gonna make it. He had a 4th stage colon cancer. But I think because everything was sterilized and everything was so cleaned, and I made sure he made all of his doctor's appointments at MD Anderson. Sometime the radiation had burned him so bad I would have to lay a blanket or air mattress in the bed of the truck, and he had to lay on his stomach because he couldn't sit down. And once you start it, you can't stop it. And it actually burned the skin off. But it's different than a burn with a match or with fire. It heals just like perfectly. But you would have all kind of keloided skin, and you could tell if it was a fire burn. But that's how bad it was. And he had to go through so many treatments. And they told him if it ever returns, he could never take anymore. He had the maximum dosage he could have. But I was ready to go after that. 2 years later, I was like, I'm gone. You get up, and they done rebuilt the whole rectum for you. They done shorten your intestines, and they done patch you back together, and you still doing the same old crazy stuff. Honey, the kids grown now. They gone. They can visit you, and they can visit me. I'll see you later. Got to go. Ex-husband, sorry, typo. It's okay. JP don't know where she is. Who? Okay. Let me see what you're saying. Oh, listen, my aunt cousin was a military as well. Them military people are different. His shirts and underwear had to be folded military style. Look, I'm just trying to get the clothes folded the way I know how to fold them neatly and put them in the drawer. So he decided he needed to wash his own clothes. Fine, but he had to wash on Thursday. What was wrong with Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Friday or Saturday? I couldn't with it. It was too many rules there. He was such a stickler for counting and looking at money until he had everything logged in the computer, all the utility bills. For the month of August, he could go back and pull the bill up from last August and put it on the refrigerator with a magnet and show you that it's $70 more this August than last August, and we got to figure out why. What I got to figure out is what time it need to be paid, and you need to figure out to put that money in that bank. That's what I'm talking about. We couldn't see eye to eye on nothing. And it just got worse over the years. I knew then it was just time to go. Where's the gist of Mrs. F? I have something to tell her. I don't know. I haven't seen it. I haven't been on YouTube today, so I don't know where. Did she tell me she had something to do? Seemed like something was going on with work. JP, I might be wrong about that, but that's just in my head. Okay, let's get on down here. Okay, driving and listening, headed to pick up my child from daycare. Okay, JP, uh, Misty, yes, that chemotherapy is extremely dangerous. It was, because they told us, um, with the chemo, he took pills. It blackened the inside of his hands like a monkey and underneath his feet. He couldn't stand no hot water. He had to wear gloves if he put his hands in just warm water. Um, it was bad, but they told us with the chemo he was taking, if he took an overdose, called poison control. It was that bad. Mm-hmm. Okay. It took me 30 years to leave, and I still can't shake him off. You probably loved him holistic, um, but it was just his ways. Because that's the way I look at him. It's not that I didn't love him, I just couldn't take his idea of love anymore. He felt like, because I'm the provider and I'm giving y'all everything y'all need. Y'all got food in a freezer out there. Y'all got a side by side. Y'all got a beautiful home. You got everything in it. The kids got everything they want. They wearing the type of clothes they want. You drive the kind of car you want. You going shopping and you buying what you want to with your money. Then when it came down to vacation, it was always me and the kids until they got up some size, and then it was me and friends. I don't want to go. I've been in the Navy. I done been all around the world. I ain't interested. No, not me. Hey Tasha, how you doing? Be safe, JP. It is raining a little bit. Oh, okay, it's raining in Florida. Okay. Listen, that was Ed's sister that I went to get the gumbo from, your friend in Florida, who brother-in-law say, ain't gonna be able to talk to no long distance relationship. Kendra, what you been up to today? Real Spill JP, what kind of daycare boo this time of night? Uh-huh. That is a good question. You caught it, Kendra. That slipped past me. Tell me she gotta go get her kid from the day. She talking about that dog. That's who she calling her kid. I bet. Um, exactly. I didn't leave my husband because I didn't love him. Drugs is why I left him. Them drugs can be a holy mess. They can take over and control him and you. Mm-mm. You can't deal with that. Especially when they get on them hard drugs. If they just smoking marijuana, they laugh and they talk and they eating up everything, okay? But when it get past that, mm-mm. I knew it was your dog. I figured it out. Uh-huh. But when it get past that, you ain't gonna be able to deal with no crackhead or no heroin addict. Now, heroin was bad on the East Coast when I lived up there. People are just standing there in the same. It always amazed me. How can you stand in that same position for 15, 20 minutes until you start to come down? Just like a statue. Sometimes 1 foot in the air. However, when it gets to that point, I guess when you had enough, you freeze in that position. I saw people on the sidewalk shooting each other up and stuff. And then we go down the street, and we come back down the street, and they in that position and scratching like mangy dogs and stuff. I've never seen heroin before except for Lady Sings the Blues. It's bad news. Mm-hmm. Have all night days in Orlando. Okay, okay. All right. Well, y'all, we have come up on our hour. Unless y'all got something to add to the conversation, I'm going to get off of here and take these braids down. Look at that. I got to. The whole back done come. Look at that. It ain't braided to the scalp no more. And get this hair shampooed. She told me to be there tomorrow at 12 o'clock. Um, what you saying, Kendra? Oh, you're talking to JP. Okay, y'all. So y'all hit that like button for me. Like, share, and subscribe. And I will see y'all tomorrow. I probably pop on when I'm down in Sharita's. I don't know if she coming here. I'm going there. But either way it go, at 12 o'clock tomorrow, she said she had to go get her children's backpacks and school stuff tomorrow from somewhere down there. So I'll probably end up going to her. But nevertheless, at least we found out that age ain't nothing but a number when it comes to feelings and emotions. That's it. I love him, but not in love anymore. The relationship is what was getting too toxic. Yeah, you got to go because it'll mess with your whole mind and your whole body. It'll have you nervous and upset stomach and headaches and can't sleep at night, can't eat. I don't think God meant us to live like that. I don't. So y'all have a good night. JP, Kendra, Holistic, everybody who came in tonight's thing. Yo, yo, y'all be safe, Kendra. And I see all of y'all tomorrow if the good Lord say the same. Love you much. Have a good night.